What's up? It's Nick Wright. First thing in the morning. So, I woke up today late as usual because I only sleep in. And I felt really lethargic. Like I didn't want to get out of bed. And it's been this way for a couple of days. Now, in my defense, it's allergy season, so I'm in a cloud. But I'm gonna go ahead and go on record and admit that I am very, very lazy. I don't know why you're smiling. Like it's true or something. Yeah,
I'd never say that you were lazy.
I'm incredibly lazy. I admit this.
You're a little lazy.
I'm very lazy. The whole like Lane Norton outwork tweets that he always tweets, and the whole like Rob Bailey work, hustle, kill, work till I die things always bug me because I have a guilty conscience. And you know that saying, the laziest guys get the best work done because they always find the quickest ways to do it. That's always been me. I don't ever feel the need to work till I'm bleeding. I just like to figure out the easiest way to get something done and get it done.
That is also true.
In my defense, I feel like Americans do put way too much false value into how much they do instead of focusing on what they love to do in life and just getting it done. Anyway, so I'm putting it out there.
It's the most uncomfortable couch in the world.
It's comfortable if you're chilling in it. We're both trying to sit on one little mattress right now.
You're fat. Never mind. Continue.
Fluffy, not fat. So, anyway, I say all that to say this. I'm naturally a lazy kid, and I accept that. I'm totally fine with that. However, I've always felt really, really, really lethargic. Like, more so than the average lazy person should feel. Like, since I was really, really young. I mean, you might say that these days I'm lethargic just because I've bulked up to 190 pounds. I'm not doing as much cardio, and that's just extra energy being exerted to carry the weight around. Yeah, that makes sense. But I was always lethargic like this even back when I was a little, like, shrimp of a kid and doing sports. I just feel like so physically like dragged down all the time. Like if you don't get enough sleep on a given day and your allergies are way up, and that's how I feel like all the time. And I remember back when I was like this little shrimp, I'd be on the trampoline with my friends and everything, doing sports and everything, and yeah, I'd still be like after an hour, I'd be like, yo, why don't you go sit down and watch TV or something? I just feel so freaking tired. And she's all the time, I'll randomly be doing things, I'll get stuff done throughout the day, but then I'll come in, I'll just plop on the couch for like 5 minutes or whatever.
And he falls asleep.
I don't fall asleep.
A lot of times you do.
I never fall asleep.
Whenever I'm doing homework, you fall asleep.
Yeah, because I'm waiting for you to finish homework.
So you fall asleep? You
Point
can
is,
clean the house.
Point is, so I've thought about getting tested for things like anemia or whatever. I'm not a doctor. I don't know like what would be what, but I've thought about getting tested for things like that. See if it's just something in my system that's making me like that. Because I've tried doing things like cardio. I've tried eating cleaner and all that, and it helps a little bit. But I've always felt this weird lethargicness in me that doesn't feel like a real natural normal thing. So what I decided to do was humor what I always call the hippie crowd, and I'm going to actually try to cut out or at least minimize my gluten intake and my lactose intake. Now, lactose is obviously everything that's a dairy product, your milk, your cheese, etc. Gluten is mostly wheat products, right?
Yeah, wheat, and it's basically anything that's like made from like almost grains if you think about it, like barley, oats. And
the reason I'm asking her is because Ariana here is actually, she has celiac disease. And celiac is basically, it's a very small percentage of the population have it. It's like 0.1% of the population, something crazy like that. But it's basically a complete gluten intolerancy. It's where your body cannot digest the gluten at all. And it basically just shreds down your digestive system, right?
Yeah, it eventually can actually eat away at your large intestine if you don't get it taken care of. But your body rejects it and shuts down your immune system and everything.
And if you have gluten at all, like even just like a bite of pizza like you had on your birthday because someone's feeling brave.
Yeah, I felt like shit for like the next 3 days, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't move that night.
Yeah, and it hurts like tremendously, right?
It's like you're curled over in a ball in pain because it hurts so bad. And it's not good for you either because it's just not good for your body to try and break it down when it can't.
So that's celiac, and that's the extreme. Now, there are a lot of people who claim to have gluten intolerances without being full-on celiac, like they just can't digest that as well. Some people will argue that, that's not possible. You either have celiac or you don't. Everyone in between is this and that. So I'm just saying people will argue that.
Yeah, but they're dumb. They argue that.
And then
they don't know what they're talking about.
And then we've met a few people. So regardless, the point is gluten intolerancy is a real thing, and celiac is definitely a real thing. So that would lead a lot of us to believe that our bodies are not meant to digest gluten in general. And there are some studies showing that our bodies, even those of us who can have gluten and not get sick or not feel pain, I can have gluten all day and I feel fine. But there are a lot of studies showing that our bodies, even when we can actually digest it and tolerate it, we're still not meant to optimally digest it. Like, it's not optimal for our digestive system. We're not meant to do it. And it's going to lead to, like, lethargicness. It's going to lead to energy deficiencies. It's going to lead to a couple things that we may not even notice on a day-to-day basis. The same can be said for lactose. It's also been shown that people, I believe, don't quote me on this one, but I've seen some things saying that people are born lactose intolerant, and then a lot of us just build up the immunity to it, and some of us don't. Some of us just stay completely intolerant to it, and those are the lactose intolerant people. But either which way, it is shown that our bodies, again, are not really designed to optimally digest lactose and dairy products. We do it just fine. I do it just fine. I can have milk, cheese, whatever. I don't get so much as gassy or bloated. I feel absolutely fine on it. But it is shown that and suggested that perhaps we're not able to digest it, and we just get so used to it because we've had it all our lives that we become used to feeling lethargic. We get used to feeling tired at 2 p.m. We get used to feeling food coma-ish after a meal. And all those symptoms that seem so normal are actually just related to not being able to digest dairy and all that. AKA to suggest that without dairy and without gluten, we'd actually feel a lot more natural energy throughout the day. We'd feel more lively. We'd feel more healthier. Our bodies would just feel much more cleaner and functioning throughout the entire day. So there's science backing it up, and there's also quality arguments refuting that stuff. But the bottom line is it could make sense. So I'm going to do an experiment. I'm sick of feeling extremely lethargic. I'm always going to be lazy. It's always in my nature. But I'm sick of feeling really lethargic, and I felt overly lethargic all my life. There have been times where I was like, do I have mono? Did I get bit by a deer tick or something like that? But it's just been all my life. And blood tests have shown that I'm healthy. I have no idea what it is, so I'm going to try cutting out gluten and lactose and seeing if that makes a difference at all. And you're lactose intolerant too, huh?
Yeah, it usually goes along with celiac, though.
That's rough.
I know, and I love chocolate milk.
So, I'm just letting
They
you guys...
have lactose-free milk and stuff, too, that you can buy. Which
Yeah.
tastes just as good. I mean, it's more expensive, which is kind of annoying, but...
I won't have to go to soy protein or anything like that either, because actually RTN, this may be kind of cheating a little bit as far as taking dairy out of your system, because whey protein is a dairy protein. But RTN does have a protein, well, their whey protein has enzymes in it that make it so even if you're lactose intolerant, you can have their whey protein. So, like, she can have RTN's whey protein because of the enzymes that they use in it.
Yeah.
So I can use that. I don't know if that's still technically putting dairy in your system, I guess.
My doctor told me that there was a study done on Olympic athletes, like, recently, when the last Olympics were in 2012, and all the athletes, like, took out gluten out of their diet, and I forgot how much better they performed, but there was, like, a percentage of how much better because they just took out the gluten.
And there was, like, something about, was it autistic kids not eating gluten or something like that?
Oh, yeah, there was studies done on people who have, like, schizophrenia and, like, autism, and if they cut out gluten out of their diet, their symptoms, like, got improved by, like, 70% or more. And a lot of people that have medicine and stuff and they don't realize it, like any sort of medicine, there can be gluten wrapped in it. Like, the pill can be wrapped in wheat. So that's also another thing to consider.
I do want to put a disclaimer out there. These are all hearsay type of studies. We haven't actually looked at these studies themselves and broken it down, because you guys know me, I'm all about not PubMeding studies, and I know a lot of studies can be wrong and inaccurate. So we didn't actually look at the real studies. This is all hearsay. But either way, bottom line is...
It does make sense, though. It does. If you think about it, because when you cut out the gluten, you feel so much better, especially if you have a sensitivity to it.
So, to wrap it up, I'm going to give that a shot, and I'm going to let you guys know how it goes. And I'm going to try to stick with it, because you guys know me. If there's no ends to my mean, like if it's not for a competition and stuff, not always the best at sticking to these little goals here, but I'm going to try it out, though. So, that's it. Subscribe now.